So the next race is the Alameda County Supervisor District 4, Honorable Miley and Esther Goolsby. Come on, have a seat. Oh, okay, all right. Actually, Nate and Maria. Okay, all right. Okay, Nate, do you,
Good evening, Democrats. It's good to be here. Good to be here for this endorsement meeting. Really value your time and the opportunity to speak to you this evening. I'm running for re-election to the Board of Supervisors. I've had an honorable career as an elected official, public servant for many years. Still extremely passionate about public service. I want to continue to be accessible to my constituents. I want to continue to be proactive on many issues that are confronting our county, including homelessness and housing, illegal dumping, ensuring that workers have rights and protections, working to ensure that our environment is a clean environment, working to ensure that government is very responsive to the needs of its constituencies. I've had the privilege of being in office for a number of years, and with that has come a lot of experience, knowledge, working with many people, developing relationships throughout the county to try to address many issues that confront our society today. My district is a complex district stretching from Oakland to Pleasanton, including the unincorporated area. If the unincorporated area were a city, it'd be the fourth largest city in the county. Only Oakland, Hayward, and Fremont would be larger than the unincorporated areas. I've spent a lot of time bringing municipal services to the unincorporated area. I've been involved in the Democratic Party for many, many years. It goes back to the time when I went to a rally for George McGovern when he was running for president. And I can tick off any number of times I've worked on campaigns for Democrats as well as measures that the Democratic Party has endorsed. I really value your support again for my re-election to the Alameda County Board of Supervisors. Thank you so very much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Esther Goolsby. Now, I may be new to this stage and to maybe a lot of you, but I am not new to one of the cities that is in District 4, Oakland, California, East Oakland to be exact. That's where I have been all the 43 years of my life. I have raised 3 children. I have lived in the same area since I was 16 years old. With the services that I have experienced by being a community member, from the people that have served our communities, I am a product of. My children are a product of. Our environment is a product of the services, or lack thereof. I appreciate that I was chosen by my ancestors, by our ancestors, to run for this seat. Coming from the community, they said, go claim that seat because you will serve the people as it should be, as our county should be, held accountable, honest, transparency, understanding the diversity, understanding the actual needs, and bring that compassion to this seat, to this district, to our county.
Okay, well, let me start with you then. How do you plan to represent the unincorporated area in District 4?
I'm glad that was asked. That is a challenge. It will be a challenge. But one thing that is for sure, no matter where No matter where inside of these districts, inside of District 4, inside the county, I will actually be available and able to listen to everyone that will come meet with me, so they can tell me how to serve them, how this county can actually be there for them, their health, and their future.
Same question?
Yes, so thank you. Yeah, I've been serving the unincorporated community since I've been an elected official. I have an office there. A lot of my staff work out of the unincorporated area. We work on many projects, many initiatives. The Eden Area Livability Initiative. We just created an Eden Area Municipal Advisory Council, created a Fairview Advisory Council, constantly going to meetings to be accessible, to listen to constituents. If I'm not there, my staff's there. So we are very responsive. Reasonable people will disagree at times, but people can't say we're not there trying to represent their needs, their concerns at all times.
Okay. To you, Nate, as well. Are you committed to bringing rent control to Alameda County?
Well, rent control, with the new state law in place, it puts a cap on rent increases. I think it's much more important to try to look at inclusionary zoning, look at a housing trust fund, look at in lieu fees, other things, as opposed to putting additional rent control measures into place. I think that would produce a stifling effect, and in the long run, have unintended consequences on our ability to provide more housing. So that's my position. It's been my position. I'm not going to change my position. But I do think the state law helps to address that.
I will. I do. I understand as a renter. I understand as a homeowner. I understand all of these issues from experience. When I get in the seat, I will challenge everything that I have heard the status quo say and do. Maybe that is not something that someone in government does, but this is the change that is coming. And I will make sure that renters stay in their home, be able to even own their home. I will do all I can do.
Ms. Queasley, SB 857, the public banking bill, passed, and our local organization would really like to have the county sign on as sponsors in order for it to obtain a license to begin operating. Will you vote to join?
Again, I will. I will, because it is important for the county, again, to understand the powers that I have yet to see tapped. Having our own public bank will put the power in the community's hands, as which is usually said numerous times to get your vote, to get you on that side. There is different programs. It's a lot of things inside that I don't fully understand. But again, the community will guide the answer, guide myself, to guide the decisions. A public bank is not only necessary for our county, but our city.
Mr. Meyer.
Yes, I support a study, a business plan to look at whether or not a public bank would be an appropriate measure for the county to support. I support putting funding into that study. I know I've talked to the advocates about that. That hasn't come to the Board of Supervisors just yet to vote on. I do think it's important to look at all options. I supported a community bank to establish that in Oakland when that came about. I need to understand what would a public bank do that a community bank isn't doing. I need to further understand what's happening with the community reinvestment, why aren't our dollars going back into communities to ensure vulnerable populations and marginal communities are getting the type of resources they need. So yes, I support studying a public bank. I'm not necessarily saying at the moment I would support voting for a public bank until that study is completed. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Miley, in August of 2019, the Alameda County Democratic Party voted unanimously against the sale of the Oakland Coliseum property to the Oakland A's without competitive bidding and transparent process. What commitment do you believe the Board of Supervisors has to protect public lands from being given to private developers?
So I definitely support working with the Oakland A's to ensure that their community and economic benefits. We have the Oakland A's meeting with the clergy, meeting with the community, meeting with business, as well as everyone to ensure that there's an effective plan. Our sale of our interest in the Coliseum is a business decision. It's an economic decision. It's not based on the development of that property. That's why when we entered to the term sheet with the Oakland A's, we couldn't put requirements there because then it would have been subject to CEQA and other types of legal processes. But what we're looking at is to try to make sure the Oakland A's stay in Oakland, which I think is fundamentally important. So going forward, continuing to have every effort to ensure that the A's dialogue with folks, dialogue with the city, to come up with appropriate economic and community benefits.
Question, did you want me to read it again? Okay, sure. In August 2019, we voted unanimously against the sale of the Oakland Coliseum property to Oakland as without competitive bidding and transparency process. What commitment do you believe the Board of Supervisors has to protect public lands from being given to private developers?
I want to speak some truth for maybe a lot of people that don't really know, but the Fisher family actually owns the Oakland A's. So when we talk about the Oakland A's, or we talk about the private developers, we're talking about billionaires. Billionaires that are owning our land in our county, and our supervisors I'm trying to put on the hat of like being professional, besides pulling out the hat of community organizer. So I have been a part of trying to get community benefits for East Oakland, for Oakland United Coalition, and for the communities that live there since 2014. So I don't agree with the sale without community benefits, without community voice. And once I'm in that seat, we will do all we can do to make sure that Howard's Terminal has a community benefits also.
Ms. Goolsby, if as supervisor, one of the main functions is of your job is to allocate resources throughout the county, what social services are the ones you would like to focus on?
Once I'm elected, the services that I will definitely look into is all the ones that actually are supposed to serve people that have not thus far. I feel that the county having so much power and so much responsibility, and it is not enough for the public that is being served by the supervisors, their involvement, their understanding of how supervisors should be responsible in actuality for their safety, their health, and their livelihood. So it is so many. I would like to say that once I am in there, I am going to do a full service in auditing and checking everything so our finances can actually go where they need to be.
Same question?
No. So the services that we need to concentrate on, I've been working with older adults for decades, so continuing to support older adults because we have more people becoming senior citizens. Clearly working with the reentry community, returning citizens who have been formerly incarcerated to ensure that they have housing and jobs and can reintegrate into society. Working with at-risk youth, working with foster care so that children can have homes to grow up and have beneficial livelihoods and a beneficial life. Also, working on the 2020 census to ensure that we get an accurate and complete count so we have all the resources we need to continue to serve vulnerable and marginal communities. Working with the homeless. You know, we have a significant homeless population to ensure that homeless are the unsheltered are sheltered, they get jobs, they get the type of care that is deserving, because no one should be sleeping out on the streets. So those are some of the major areas that I would like to have social services focus on.
Okay. Mr. Miley, the disinvestment in East Oakland is visible. Homelessness is something the county should respond to. How will you?
Yeah, the county's responding to homelessness. We've put together plans to work on encamping the response team, to work with the city of Oakland, working with other jurisdictions in the county who are suffering the plight of the homeless, working on trying to address illegal dumping in East Oakland. That's a plague on the community, because you know when communities get unsightly and there's blight, that also creates a breeding ground for crime and other types of issues. Working with the city council and the community on measures that can help to foster a more livable community, a more healthy community in East Oakland. Those are some of the things. Constantly trying to work with the faith-based community as well as other non-traditional providers of services, so that we can get services into the hands of folks who need them in East Oakland, and not necessarily always going through the formal mechanisms.
Let me repeat it. Okay, sure. The disinvestment in East Oakland is visible. Homelessness is something the county should respond to. How will you?
20 years ago, our homelessness, our illegal dumping, any of the issues that we currently have were not there. Sure, were not visible. I live in this. I live on 82nd Ave. I live near the pollution that has been there for over 113 years. I am a product of my environment, as I stated before. So I know all about the disinvestment in East Oakland. I'll know about all the disinvestment in all the cities of District 4 of Alameda County once I'm in there. And for sure, again, having the community with the solutions be the actual answer to how we fix our problems. They know what is best for themselves. They know, we know, I know.
Our time is run out, so 1 minute closing.
I want to thank you, one, for listening to me, for considering me for your endorsement. I appreciate you for being here tonight. I appreciate you for understanding that I will fight for us, for Alameda County, not just District 4, but all of Alameda County. The status quo, it must stop. Change is here. If we constantly say we're ready for change or to actually have our people healthy, then let's do that. Let's do that. We're putting me in that seat. We're putting us in that seat. I appreciate, again, I ask for your endorsement. Esther Goolsby, signing off.
I ask for the support of the party. Once again, you've supported me in my past races. And as I said, I've had a deep and long history of being involved in the Democratic Party. And I've worked on the Jesse Jackson campaign. I've worked on the Clinton campaign. I've supported many Democrats in their races. I've been involved in the party. So I really value your support. Alameda County is a complex county. Our budget's over $3 billion. There are a lot of issues. My district goes from Oakland to Pleasanton, includes Castro Valley. There are 2 cities in my district. I've got the support of the mayors and the city councils in my district. I humbly, once again, ask that you continue to allow me to represent you on the Board of Supervisors. This is, I'm still very passionate about the job, and I welcome the fact that I have competition. I always welcome competition. You can't have a race without an opponent. So I'm glad she's running so that the voters can have a chance to see who's best to represent them in District 4. Thank you all.
Thank you to both candidates for joining us. I have a quick announcement.